so important. Go ahead, Walsh.
Ordering a pizza online, man?
No. I'm sure everybody's got rides.
For the second consecutive game, you used a defensive dual big run, 24-1 the other night, 36-6 tonight. Are they starting to get that team defense concept that produces those kinds of runs?
Yeah, I think we've had some good spurts that we've played. We've also had some times where the other team has had good spurts. To Howard's defense, that they have a chance to win their league. They have a good team. They broke a 38-game home winning streak against North Carolina Central the other night. But when you don't have your best 4 or 5 guys, they got one of the guys leading the nation in scoring. 2 of their other 3 guys didn't play tonight. The other guy was sick, had to be taken to the hospital at halftime. And then they have, one of their starters. It looks like he hurt broke his nose, had the bloody nose during the course of the game. So, to their defense, they were shorthanded, with their guys and everything. I think it would have been a different game tonight. And I think it would have been a much more competitive game. So, but no, we've been able to play really into that second half, and then have the spurts in that second half. So to be able to kind of get that boost in the first half, what was really good for our guys. I was really pleased in the first half with the way we took care of the basketball. 18 assists, no turnovers, 7 for 7 from the free throw line. That was pretty impressive.
How much were you looking forward to playing Daniel? Just because this non-conference season, Old Dominion had some guys who could score, but you haven't faced that real high-scoring guard yet.
Well, we needed to play him. He's a guy that can score off the dribble, can score from 30 feet. He gets to the free throw line 10 times a game. He reminds me of Troy Hudson, a guy that played at Southern Illinois before we were there. He played 10 years in the NBA. Just can pull from anywhere and really put you on your heels with his quickness and everything. So I thought that was, after watching film, sometimes you don't know about guys. After watching film, you're like, hey, this guy's really going to, from a team defensive standpoint, he's really going to break us down and cause us some problems. So, we were excited about the challenge, and he said he had turf toe in both. It was in big toes, it sounds like, and that's tough. That's really tough because you got to be able to compensate a little bit, and you're not able to with both of them. All right, we'll see you guys.
Matt, you just assess how you thought Rayfield played tonight and what you're seeing from him in terms of health and going forward from there.
I thought he was good. I thought he was solid. He didn't try to do too much. I think sometimes when you come back from an injury, you try to do too much. But I thought being able to get some trust on the defensive end. You don't dictate your movement sometimes defensively. Offensively, when you run and you move, the play that's being ran. You can run in a straight line. You don't have to cut as much. And do some different things. You just dictate your movements offensively. So for him to be able to play defense and just kind of get some trust, his footing wasn't great a couple times, but you get through it. And I thought he did a good job there. I thought the drive that he had full court, getting to the basket, how fast he was able to drive it, was a good confidence boost for him.
Why has your team had so much success the last couple of games in transition? Is it something you're doing? Is it just opportunities presenting themselves?
I think opportunities present themselves. Anytime you zone and you're in a matchup zone and you do it in transition, it's hard to find guys, especially when you overload a side initially. So sometimes in transition when people zone us, we just try to overload a side. And if you think about 2 wings who run down the court defensively, they're there, and our 2 wings come over here. And then we have a center who posts up. It's hard for them. They have to overload their zone in transition, and we just try to get that open look, get that open post up, and we just kind of play off of that. So I've always, when we win against people who are primarily zoned, if it's not going for them and they miss a lot of shots, and you get long rebounds into that, now you're going to be able to get some rhythm threes in transition.
Matt, before the last game, Biggie'd been doing everything well but shooting percentage. So the last 2 games he's had a double-double with, I think, 7 and 10 field goal attempts. Is he, he just seems like he's got a high basketball IQ.
Right.
Is he doing what you're asking him to do and not forcing him?
Well, I think, he's worked so hard on his game, and he's improved his body, he's improved his game, but you still got to be able to make decisions and get a quality shot. I thought probably the best play that he did was the three he passed up in the first half, and then he drove under control and made that play. You know, he can do things of that nature. And I just think he's letting the game come to him a little bit. And you know, I think less is more. I mean, when you play that way and you play efficient and you take your open looks and you attack when you have angles, you know, good things are going to happen. Sometimes young guys can have predetermined thoughts. You know, they already are thinking about what they're going to do before they do it. Well, if the defense changes, you got to be able to instinctually make that change yourself. And if you already have your mind set up what you're going to do, now it's not going to work out. So just kind of letting the game come to him. His instincts are good enough when he does that. He's going to play better and he's going to score more.
We had asked you before the season things you were still not concerned about, things you still had your eye on. You said togetherness, wanting to see this team's togetherness. Right. How would you assess that right now through 10 games?
Yeah, I think that's great. Our togetherness is great, and we talked about it before the season. I felt like we had a deep team, and I just said, hey, when you have a deep team, there's going to be 2 or 3 guys, you know, a couple guys each game that don't play quite as much as they want to. You know, you're going to have to be a good teammate, keep your head into it, and be ready when your number's called. So those guys have been able to do it. You know, probably the best example for us was probably Ryan Klein. You know, he didn't play very much in Connecticut, and he got an opportunity in the first half against Pitt, and didn't knock down a couple shots, but you know, kept his composure and stayed in there. And then he was the difference, you know, in that second half. AJ had a huge second half, and he also had a huge second half. So just each guy's got to be able to just to stick with it and keep playing hard and doing those things. But our guys have stayed together, and that's important.